Moving on, Saudi Aramco, the state-owned oil giant, has sought a valuation of up to $1.7 trillion, which would make it the world's biggest initial public offering or IPO. Just to put that into perspective, the target valuation will make Aramco the world's biggest public company, overtaking Apple Inc. as well. However, the valuation is well below the $2 trillion target sought by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman since he first mooted the initial public offering. This was in 2016. Aramco will sell just 1.5% of its shares on the local stock exchange. The offer falling short of a record, coming in just below the $25 billion raised by Alibaba Group Holding Limited in 2014. Interestingly, Aramco is slated to rely heavily on local investors after receiving a rather tepid response from international money managers. The shares will not be marketed in the US and Canada as originally planned. Japan is also off the list. And this is in sharp contrast to what Aramco chairman Yasir Al-Rumayyan had said while the IPO was announced earlier this month.
Crowners with joint global coordinators.
We want to share the Aramco shares with the citizens of Saudi Arabia. We want to get financial investors from all over the world. And one of the reasons that we want to do this is to be in line with the Vision 2030, and that was stated like years ago. I think in 2016 or 17.
Saudi Arabia has been pulling out all the stops to ensure the IPO is a success. It's cut the tax rate for Aramco 3 times, promised the world's largest dividend, and offered bonus shares for retail investors. The drone attack that targeted Aramco, this was on the hands of Iran-aligned Houthi rebels. The Aramco IPO is a pet project of MBS's much-hyped Vision 2030 plan to change the social and economic fabric of the kingdom. The plan relies heavily on attracting foreign investment into Saudi Arabia. That plan suffered a huge setback after the assassination of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi in Saudi Arabia's Istanbul consulate. Aramco has also faced the challenge of strengthening global movement against climate change that's targeted the world's largest oil and gas companies. No matter what the final valuation, the share sale will create a public company of unmatched profitability. Aramco earned a net income of $111 billion last year. Iranians have been angered by the recently imposed gas rationing and hike in fuel prices, and they have been taking to the streets to express their dissent. Protesters have been setting fire to various public buildings and abandoning their cars along major roads. But the government has now got the support of the Supreme Leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. He said that the decision was based on expert assessments and must be executed. Khamenei has termed the violent demonstrators quote-unquote thugs and signaled at a potential crackdown if the protests continued.
گروهی که دارید اداره میکنید کشورتون رو مراد اینه در این دوره اینان ثانیاً نشستن با پشتوانه کارشناسی یه تصمیمی برای کشور گرفتن باید عمل بشه به اون تصمیم آتش زدن به فلان بانک این کار مردم نیست این کار اشراره این مفاسد هیچ مشکلی رو درست نمیکنه جز اینکه علاوه بر هر مشکلی که هست ناامنی رو هم اضافه میکنه ناامنی بزرگترین مصیبت برای هر کشوری است برای هر جامعه است اینا قصدشون اینه
The Iranian authorities have issued warnings that disruptive moves would be met with a strong police and judicial response. The Interior Minister has said that the special forces could be used against those who break the law and try and create instability. The warning followed a night of protests across the country. Internet services have been blocked across Iran as well as an attempt to clamp down on the protests. As per Iran's news agency, 40 people have been arrested in the city of Yazid after clashing with the police personnel. A policeman has also been killed in clashes with armed attackers in the city of Kermanshah. Protests in Iran erupted on Friday when the government announced gasoline rationing measures and a hike in fuel prices. Vehicles for private use are to be restricted to 60 litres of fuel per month, while the price of petrol will jump 50% to 15,000 Iranian riyals, which amounts to $0.13 a litre in the open market. Any fuel purchases in excess of the allotted ration will incur an additional charge of 30,000 riyals, amounting to $0.26 per litre. It is being speculated that the strict measures have been imposed following an alleged free fall of the Iranian economy. The slowdown could be attributed to the US imposed sanctions on Iran after it unanimously pulled out from the 2015 nuclear deal last year. The Iranian President Hassan Rouhani had recently said that the country was facing its worst time in decades.